Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Just got back to the house literally about an hour before you're watching this. Got back, grabbed Sarah, she's behind the camera, and wanted to film a quick recap of day 4 since the last couple of days have been all the tournament days. Man, a good tournament overall, cannot complain at all. The bite, I won't say the bite went away on championship day. I think we just pressured it. I want to say there were like 6 or 7 of the top 10 guys were up in the river section where I was fishing. And in watching a lot of the recap or a lot of the live footage on the drive home and last night at the hotel, what I realized is not only were a couple of us fishing the same spots, like all of us were fishing the same spots. So from that standpoint, we just beat up on them. I'm actually really surprised that it held up as well as it did. It was just funny watching the video, and you'd see something like in the background and be like, yep, I fish that 3 times a day. And Michael Neal just caught a 4.5 pounder off of the same spot. You know, so a lot of it was timing. A lot of it was just, you know, rotating through the stuff and being there, like I said, in a timing fashion. But in a nutshell, great tournament. We ended up finishing 7th. I caught a 3-pounder in the last 10 minutes that moved us up from 9th to 7th, which was, you know, a nice little bump up. But the biggest issue on the final day was just the fact that it was a 3-pound minimum mixed in with all the pressure. So I only weighed 3 fish. I had 11 pounds on 3 fish. I think I had 6 other fish that I put on the scales that were 2.5 to 2 3/4 pounds. So we still caught some fish, but it really dried up the second and third periods. So can't complain. You know, I said all along my goal was to go there and take as much of the BPT money as I could. Well, we came out of there with the 3rd most money. You had Jeff Sprague, who won Big Bass on the final day, got 100,000, and then Nick Hatfield won the tournament and got 100,000. So big congrats to both those guys. I left there with about $42,000, which was the 3rd most. So I cannot complain at all. That's a great tournament. From a fishing standpoint, I really narrowed it down to 3 baits, which was really nice. I fished 2 moving baits, you know, and the stuff we were fishing was more, not necessarily ledge, but vertical rock banks where you had some overhanging trees. There was a shad spawn going on, so the fish were using those shaded areas. They were using the rock to spawn. So I had a 1-2 punch in areas that were clean, meaning I could retrieve a bait without a weed guard. I threw a jackhammer chatterbait with a Berkley power bait power stinger. I do not have any more of those. I ran out. I need to order some myself. So let me order some before you order them from Tackle Warehouse. The power stinger was just the pearl white color. Actually, it might have been Sight Flash now that I think about it. I'll put links in the video description for you. And then in areas where I had like lay down trees and things I could not retrieve a exposed hook through, I threw the Core Tackle swim jig in Goldilocks with a Berkley grass pig swim bait on the back. These 2 baits accounted for probably 90% of the fish catches, I would say. It was probably like of those 90%, 60% on the jackhammer, 40% on the swim jig. My sat tracker, I guess, if you pull it up, it shows, I think, pretty much the jackhammer or bladed jig for most of them, but we weren't necessarily updating that the whole time. And then I fished it, so the bladed jig I fished on a MHX custom CB 907 rod, mixed in with the Xenon MG LTX by Abu Garcia, 15-pound, 100% Berkley fluorocarbon. And then on the swim jig, this was the NMB 874 MHX blank that I built as well with a Xenon X baitcast reel, 15-pound, 100% Berkley fluorocarbon. Those baits was really the main thing. When I was fishing them, I did fish them a little bit slower in the afternoons. I found that the fish were dropping down a little bit deeper, so I actually was almost yo-yoing both the baits down the rock wall. I found that generated more bites for me later in the afternoon. And then while I was doing that, I had my scope on the active target. And if I came around a dock or a laydown tree, basically anywhere I was looking for fry ballers, there was a lot of fry ballers coming off the spawn. And if I happen to see one, I would drop down just a drop shot rig with a little, this is the Duo Realis wriggle crawler, just a little worm, various colors, green pumpkin, that's I think red seed, or I'm not sure what they call it, it's the red worm. But those were the main baits. It was really just about covering a lot of water, making really accurate casts was a very big part of it. The fish were taking the bait almost right off the bank, so if you weren't putting your bait on the bank, you weren't getting nearly as many bites as you should. But ultimately a great tournament. I'm very, very happy with it. You know, well run. It was a great time. Had a great time rooming with the guys again. Really kind of bittersweet. I wish I was going back for the next BPT event. I felt like I was right back where I was last year. I'm going to petition Major League Fishing to see if I get an exemption for being a heavy hitter big bass winner. I feel like I should get some sort of Legends exemption to get back in next year. So MLF, if you're watching, I'd like to cash that in for the 2026 season. Anyways, thank you to all support. I got tons and tons of well wishes. You guys are awesome out there. Thank you, thank you, thank you for following along. And yeah, other than that, that's about it. I got to unpack the truck, unpack the tackle, and get back to the daily grind. Thanks for watching.